Welcome back to Everyone Needs an Aquarius. I am still under the weather a little bit, but we gotta get in here.
What's under the weather? What is wrong with you,
I've
friend?
been sick since Sunday.
Do you got the it?
No, I tested for it. I don't.
Okay, 'cause I'm like,
Yeah,
they got that.
it's
But
just the
your
flu.
kid also back in school, so who knows what germ she brought home.
And we went to a soccer game on Sunday too with all these kids and stuff. So yeah. But I'll be all good. We're gonna power through it. We gonna make it happen. We're gonna make it happen.
All right.
Before we even get started, Dom, let everybody know where can they go to subscribe. You almost at 1,000 subs. Let's talk it off the top. Where can
Yes,
they go?
yeah. Y'all know, like, it's interesting enough because one of the shows we're about to talk about, he said something so important, which is subscriptions, having subscribers and all of that really, really helps people be able to pitch and do all these things because everything is about metrics, and a lot of the metrics really can't be skewed for real. And you don't want to turn in, like provide skewed metrics anyway, because if people are not going to, buy into that brand or whatever your advertisement is, you lose the advertisement. So, like a good thing, if we got a HelloFresh campaign, I use that shit. Like I love HelloFresh. It's convenient. It is cheaper than going to the grocery store. You get 2 meals for however, I would do like 4 days and I would have it through the week and all these things. And then because on the weekend and stuff, I don't cook for real. I do now just because, like my situation with my, like my homeboy / play cousin living here and him being sick, but I cook all the time. And so that's just really convenient. I wish they took EBT because I would bump it up to the family plan and that would take care of half of those meals right there. But he gonna eat you out of house and home, so it don't matter no damn way. But anyway, so like subscribe to my YouTube. I think I'm at 987. And I'm trying to be more active on TikTok. I'm just gonna give you the password because I'm telling you. So that post that you clicked and posted on my page too.
Yeah.
Them niggas is going, they are commenting, and a lot of people are like, oh, I never thought about it like that. I agree. But then some, it's always somebody random hating, saying it's people in their mid-40s. Bitch, mid-40s where? First of all, I'm in my late 30s. He in his early 40s. We not mid nothing.
And even if we was, you still the sucker that watched us. So what does that say about you?
We did. Also, you were not alive. Like our generation is so special just because of we've been through a fucking lot. I'm happy that we don't look older than what we are just because the wars, the recessions, fucking 9/11. That's today. 9/11.
9/11. Yeah. Before we start, where was you at on 9/11? That's a good little quick segue for a quick convo.
Yeah, I was actually a freshman. The one and only year that I did at Lindbergh High School, I was a freshman in geometry class. And I will never forget my teacher getting a call and did you have phones in your classroom or whatever? Like in high school and middle school? Like a phone? So we had a phone. So they called, somebody called her and she turned.
Well, you know what? They can, they would be able to just go to a certain classroom and go over to PA directly to the classroom. Just that one class.
So so you have to remember Columbine happens.
Right.
And I'm also at a white school. I was so confused, by the way, because none of the county schools had metal detectors. So I was shook. So I was like, oh, so y'all still didn't put metal detectors in these holes after this shit? All right. And she turned on the Today Show. And they were all talking about what happened. They were trying to figure out if it was just somebody getting disoriented, trying to land, and all these different things. People were not 110% sure that this was a terrorist attack until that other plane ran into the other towers, and you have a snowball of effects. The things that happened like at Camp David and the Pentagon and all of those different things. And I just remember I could still hear Bryant Gumbel's voice. Oh my God, another plane just ran into the other tower. And I just remember holding my chest and just being really confused because you just didn't know what was going to happen next, and somebody made a really interesting point today. It was like Spiritual Word. They talked about how TSA didn't exist prior to 9/11, like globally. It did not exist. There were no like metal detectors. I don't recall going through a metal detector.
They had metal detectors. It was like they was real. Like you just go through there. It wasn't like
and like there was like no liquids you couldn't have. Like it was none of that stuff. Yeah. Where it was like, oh, it got to be a certain size. Anything over this, you got to check your bag. It was none of that.
Mm-hmm. And how you could used to be able to go to the gate with somebody you know.
Yeah. Yep. And now you still can do it. But it has to be like special circumstances. So like in the case of when my little sister came out here, and this is when I first like moved to LA, I was able to take her and my person formerly known as my cousin to the gate.
Yep.
And sit with them until takeoff or whatever. And so they let me do that. But yeah, I remember that. And I remember at that time I was dating this guy, like Little Puppy Love, and he was like, "Yeah, if they reinstate the draft, I'm going because we not gonna have to deal with this. You can't come over here and think you're gonna blow our shit up." And I was like, "Cool,
where was this gentleman from?
What you say?
Where was this gentleman from in the city?
Normandy."
Okay.
And I just was like, cool your jets. So yeah, I remember that, and that's so crazy. And I have an ex-boyfriend. His birthday is his birthday is today. So I always teeter with the idea of if I'm gonna even say nothing. But then I like saw that he texted me for my birthday. I was like, all right, let me not be mean.
Right.
I'm happy birthday.
Man, so I was a junior in college.
Damn.
Oh man.
Oh.
It was the beginning of the school. I worked for the school paper. You could even still go online. I was working on I just started working at the Iowa State Daily on a Baroque orchestra article where I had to go to this Baroque orchestra thing and review it and bring it back for the paper. So I went to this Baroque orchestra thing. I'm just trying to get my feet wet on reporting. So they just giving you whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like, hey, you do this, you do this. I sitting there, I'm trying to bullshitting because you could also print for free in the newsroom. So I'd be using that to print off shit. So I always was in there. I was turning my shit in and printing off some shit. That's what I would do. So the first one hit and somebody like, hey man, the tower's in. So everybody stand up and we looking at the TVs. It was like so I had a small, like how a newsroom was. It was literally a newsroom with 30, 40, 50 students all around different computers and stuff. So we look and then it's another one hit. And then our editor at the time, her name's Emily. She's actually over the Chicago Tribune now, I believe. She got up on her desk. She was like, I don't give a fuck what anyone is doing right now. We need to get out there and see reactions. So literally they just sent us out there to get people's reactions that are going on campus. So like they's like, I don't care what you working on. So it's like 40 of us running out there. I'm getting reporting. Of course, I'm trying to get all the black folks to try to get them in the paper, taking pictures of them and stuff, I'm hanging out. I'm trying to holler at certain chicks. I'm like, I'm gonna put you in the paper and shit. Just go ahead and let me know where y'all be at later on. You in the paper. Because y'all understand, that was a big deal to be in the paper in 2001. Like people don't understand. Like it doesn't mean nothing to nobody now. But then to have an article with your name in print in a paper, my grandma still even keeps those articles for me. Like it's like a big deal, like because that was a print thing. But ended up getting some basketball players, and it ended up being a big article thing. And I know journalism from that point changed forever. And lo and behold, to me, that was the point where I was never going to be actually a real journalist either. I just didn't know, but that's a longer story.
It's interesting because we both have journalism degrees.
Mhm.
You know, mine with that broadcasting emphasis, and I didn't even pick this major. My mom picked it.
Oh wow!
And I because I was gung ho on taking a gap year. I didn't know it was called a gap year, but I was still like a size maybe like 2, maybe a 3, and I just wanted to try my hand at modeling. And my household, you know, like my mom didn't know anything outside of a box, like, you know, Midwestern way of thinking and values. And that's not a diss or knock at her or anything. It's just that it's the way of life, and education is supposed to lead to all these other things. And we now realize that culturally that, you know, that's not true anymore.
Yeah.
You know, it's all about networking, your network. And we always tell people, like, your network is stronger than your net worth, because it's people that can get you into rooms that you could not even fathom just solely on having a really strong relationship with them. And so when I was doing, it was like probably midway through my degree, I was like, I only wanted to do something like this, like that was like entertainment journalism, none of that hardcore nightly news shit. And not that it's bullshit, and I probably could do it being able to detach, because, you know, being an Aquarius. But then there's a other part of me that is a very, very high impact person, and having to carry that. So that's when I knew, I was just like, yo, like, I don't think this is in this capacity is for me.
Yeah. Mine was just because all these different companies were starting to fold, because print media, I was a print media emphasis, and all that shit was gone after 9/11. Because the reason is, the long story short of it was, people start trying to get immediate stuff online about updates on 9/11. Yep. So it was because even when we were coming with updates for the paper, they were putting it on our website, on our IowaStateDaily.com, and like refreshing it. So it made people start thinking, like, oh, I can just get stuff updated now. I just need it updated now. And it changed the way the machine of journalism worked. And it's 9/11 that really moved it there, because people needed to get updates of what's happening.
Yeah. It was that, or you was just gonna be in TV, because like you said, there was a delay. And it's still interesting, because even to this day, we still seeing issues, you know, come up, like with print. And I would say what's happening too is that there are a lot of like kind of like false headlines and false leads that happen. And, you know, in journalism, you're supposed to have like kind of a lot of the meat in that opening, you know, like that first paragraph or that second. And then the rest of it is just like the details, how you got, like explaining like more in depth what's happening, because they know that people only stay reading for like a certain amount of minutes or whatever. So you like lose everything. And then, but I don't think, I think because some people nowadays are just so interested in being the first and not fact checking. Because just like, look at TMZ and the debate, the DNC, and then reporting what happened, saying that Beyonce was going to be here. Somebody didn't fact check that.
Yep.
And so I think journalism for sure has lost. And if you don't know where to find me, I'm not looking. I'm looking for the silver lining. The silver lining. And I don't know where I'm hoping. This way and lost his way a long time ago, because of how everything is just set up now. It's fucked up, like you said. Like, a lot of people want stuff right then and there, and nobody be fact checking shit. And fact checking will get you fucked up for real. Because you see what happened. Dan Rather, you remember that? Because somebody did fact check. That man lost his job. He had that job for how long? 30, 40 years.
You're right.
Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see, especially as going into, because we are headed into election season. It's here pretty much.
Yeah.
How people are publishing things and misinformation, and people just be riding with it. We see it on Twitter every day.
Oh, they wrote. We'll talk about that in a minute when we talk about the Super Bowl.
Okay.
But we got to get into Unc, Sir Shannon Sharpe.
I told you.
Yeah.
When you gonna learn to just listen to me?
I was just like, it's no way that could really be happening.
I told you. I was like, but it is on his live. I'm like, I told you. I told you.
Yeah, you're right.
The messed up part is, it's funny because Daryl and I just watched, it was Nightcap Live, which, you know, it's funny. You text me to say, I think this is pre-recorded, and I'm confident it was pre-recorded, because if it were live, it wouldn't have rolled those ads like that. But and then there was something that happened that looked like kind of like a jump cut. So
right.
So I was like, oh,
it jump cutting a lot.
It was jump cutting a lot, and so I was like, okay, this is not live. It is a live premiere, which are two different things.
Yep.
So
you can do it from StreamYard and not do it as a premiere in YouTube, but it still looks live, because they'll ask you, do you want to take a pre-recorded video and make it live?
Mm-hmm. And so I'm gonna send Shannon Sharpe a message and just be like, hey man, that wasn't live, but it was cool or whatever. But the interesting thing about all of it is just, I appreciate his transparency and his honesty, you know, about it, because at the end of the day, like what he's saying, I wholeheartedly could believe to be true. If you open Instagram, maybe, and that was clearly the last thing he was on. And so when he threw his phone down on whatever it was, it's that easy for something to happen like that, because you never see anybody kind of like at the beginning of it, you never see anybody like walk away from whatever. It just starts and nobody's in that shot. And so what's messed up about Instagram, and I hate this, is when you literally open it, it is live. It goes to the live. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's live. Yep. And so it starts there. And I was like, what happened to when, and I know they're trying to get people to use live more and engage, especially if you have you can make a lot of money on live. If you have over a certain amount of followers, like it's 10,000 or more, people can buy badges, you can make money. Because Instagram used to open, and it used to be just the post. Like you could just post, then you could swipe to the stories, then other things up. Then at one point it would open and it would start at Reels. So they'll probably change it after maybe what happened today.
Like you might need to like hit it multiple times. Are you sure? You would like to go live. You're getting to go live. Are you sure?
Yeah. And I feel like back in the day, it used to be a prompt that would ask you something like that. But I've been, I don't know, but it's just, I don't remember. But it's just so crazy, because when we saw the post saying he was hacked, I was like, nigga, but you wasn't, because we heard you, oh, Michelle.
Hey, he was digging her AO.
Yeah, and so, but I
think he was getting some head from her too, low key.
He was. Okay. Yeah. And so the interesting thing is why people making a big fuss about this is because last week he went up on Ocho Cinco about being professional and being able to show up on time, and saying how you want to be able to operate in these different spaces, but you fucking late. You can't be late. Don't be late to our shit. You can't be late to, ESPN shit and all this other shit. So it's like, come on, like, you knew what time we were supposed to record. You should have took a car service, because now your cousin Buki car overheating or whatever the fuck, because you cheap. And you being cheap is gonna, like, have you missing opportunities.
Because he's cheap. That's 100% it right there.
That's literally what it is, because he's cheap. But it's just wild. And so and I'm glad that he was able to kind of like have a moment and kind of and joke about it, because he, did mention on that live that he cried about that. He was like, I'm a very private person. I just didn't, know what happened. He said how it got off is like likely his assistant, because he said the guy's name, I think he said his name was Jordan or something, who likely has access from his phone to his account, and he was able to end it. And so yeah, he was able to go in that live. And so he was like, I spoke to my agent and then called ESPN, and I just told him the truth about what happened. So we still don't know if it's going to be like repercussions for this, losing of brand endorsements and different deals. And
no, man, because it wasn't no nudity. It wasn't no nudity or anything like that.
Yeah, it was just sound effects. And so, and it's funny because how he never said sex, and he was saying how he was just engaging in what do you say, activities?
Yeah, adult activities.
Adult activities, and I'm like, nigga, we grow.
Hey, when that fool, but he flipped it and put it on that one of his sponsors though, which is a dope way to do it. If you can flip it. Yeah. So I'm surprised he was able. I mean, I would definitely, if after I talk to ESPN and I get that together, I was like, could you lean into it and be like, don't get caught up like me on Instagram Live. But if you happen to use these Zooms or whatever you got.
Yeah, that'll be funny. You will see, because when I first saw this, I was like, when it kicked in with that sponsorship, that ad, and then again he said in the middle of them talking, he brought up that particular brand as well, and he was just like, how it make him do what it do. Yeah. So it's just interesting. It's wild. Today has just been, this week has just been chaotic. Like I just, it's only Wednesday and I am overwhelmed in an underwhelming way. Okay. Like seriously. And I just like waking up to the news that Frankie Beverly passed away. Yeah. And then it just keep going. And I'm like, Jesus, take the wheel. Yeah, and that shit, it's just like a lot. And then, James Earl Jones yesterday.
Shout out to Nick Taylor, who's a St. Louis cat, man, and he passed away as well.
Yeah, it's just been a lot. And, I'm just like, dude, I text my family, like my mom and my sisters were in the chat. I said, somebody gonna check on Mel. Go check on my dad, because I just know he's sick. Like, I know my dad is sick.
That was his group?
Yeah, listen, Daryl, I can see myself now in the backseat of my dad's car, and we are on a road trip going somewhere, or him just picking us up from somewhere, playing Frankie Beverly and Maze live.
Oh, yeah. My dad was on the same thing.
And so I can see
singer and all that.
Yes. Happy feelings in the air. Happy feeling. Like, oh my God. Like I literally I had to contain myself because I almost cried. And when I was talking to my sister, and I was like, let me keep it together. Let me keep it together. And I just, man. And then I finally got a hold of my dad, and he was talking to my godfather, who has never acted as my godfather. And he was like, I'm going to tell him you said that. I said, yeah, tell the motherfucker I said that. I'm serious. And then, but yeah, he was just like, yeah, I know. And it was also kind of bittersweet. And I hate that I missed the show out here and couldn't get to St. Louis to see that tour, with his goodbye tour. And what's really kind of just like, he was so tired. He had been sick, having, throat cancer. And that was him really telling us goodbye. And they interviewed him on Essence or whatever, at Essence Fest, because they did like a tribute. And he was like, I'm going to do something in the next couple of months that's going to make y'all so proud of me. And okay.
Wow.
Let me keep it together.
Wow.
And that's what he did. This is a job well done. And that's it. Yeah. It's crazy. Damn. I'm still sick about Luther Vandross. And that was like almost 20 years ago, nigga.
It is 20 years ago. Literally almost.
I'm still sick about like Luther Vandross. Like, I can't listen to Luther Vandross without getting emotional. But I love music like that. Like, I love that music does so much to your soul, and it can change your mood, your life, and
it can do so much for you.
It does so much for you. So, man, rest in peace, man.
Yeah, man, straight up, man, for the great Frankie Beverly, man. Even though what's so crazy is people love Frankie Beverly so much, he ain't been able to sing for real well for about 10, 15 years. People just wanted to have that energy and be in there.
Yeah, because of the cancer.
Yeah,
that's what
people didn't care. They was like, we want to be there.
Yeah,
experience you as an artist.
It's like certain things. Like, that's one of the things. That's why I was like so big on going to see Anita Baker, because I'm gonna have to go to Vegas to see Babyface, because I just can't live my life like this without seeing Babyface in concert. And
you never seen Babyface in concert?
I've never seen Babyface in concert.
Man. He kills it. Man.
I'm thinking of him. Nope, never seen Babyface in concert.
He kills it.
And
I saw him, Tamia, and El DeBarge.
Oh wow!
Yeah,
I was trying to get my mom. I was like, but my mom would just be tussling. And let me see, but I was like, meet me in Vegas. Like, I'll buy the tickets. Just like, meet me in Vegas. We'll, like, go half on the room. I ain't balling, like that yet. But it's like, that's why I'm just like adamant about like certain shows and like just doing stuff, just not waiting for nobody to do nothing anymore. Like I told y'all last week, I went to see Lucky Day by myself, and if she play with me, I'm going to see Babyface by myself. Like, it is what it is. I'm not missing out. We don't know how much time we got left on this earth, and why not fucking enjoy it? Like, cherish those memories. You did this, did that, and it's just been so crazy. Just like that, like you said, Rich Homie Quan. And that's just really sad, just because, like, as more details are coming out and what his brother did, and was like, oh, I saw him sleep on the floor.
And didn't do that.
He had food in his mouth, so I just put him on the couch. That mean that kid always was hot out of his mind like that.
Oh, you saying because he was so much out of it.
Yeah. And it's just sad, like dang, like, you down bad like that.
That they just used to seeing you like that.
They used to seeing you like that. And so he likely had already passed when that happened, or or just was out of it, because when the baby mama, when she found him, she said like she had went back to bed and then came back down, and then he was foaming at the mouth.
Oh Lord.
So it's just man. And about James Earl Jones.
All right, let's go.
I need people to stop trying to demonize, like, I think I just made up a word.
Demonized, but demonetized. You just made one demonetized.
Yeah, whatever. Fuck. Yeah, whatever the fuck I said.
Mm-hmm.
In death. Because we talk about him playing Darth Vader, or not Darth Vader. Darth Vader?
Yeah. And he played Mufasa.
Mufasa, all these different roles. Like we talk about Coming to America, we talk about Claudine, Fences, all of that, and we always have talked about him and like, you know, as far as his artistry goes, nobody ever talks shit about him. And then y'all wait till that man is dead to pull these old clips when y'all could have been said something and pulled that up.
I've seen the clips before. I've seen the clips a couple of years ago circulating.
Okay, so I don't know.
Yeah, I've seen it a couple of years ago circulating.
But it's like also giving the person the chance to have some sort of redemption story. Like, is that how you still feeling? Or do you want to apologize for what you did and what you said, especially talking crazy in front of this white woman? And like, it's a dialogue that's there. He ain't here, and I'm not capping for him or anything. But I'm just.
You want me to play the clip, or you don't even put it out there?
What you want to do?
Keep going. I'm on download part of the clip.
Okay. But we have to stop doing that. Like when people transition and pulling up things that are not so nice about them. And then somebody was like, well, Eartha Kitt was like this, you know, in regards to black men and 100%.
Whatever. I always tell people when the people get to that high 10, 15 percentile, especially back then, they was all dealing with white people. All of them, men, women, all of them were. Name all the top women, black actors then. They all got white men. Name them.
Yeah. And so, and you have to also think that too, they are just like us, living through whatever.
They're only around certain types of people. It's so. It's that.
It's that, and people still are. It's fucked up, but like people move through trauma a lot.
Yeah. And
so we talk about Pam Grier not being able to have kids because cocaine, Rick James put in her coochie. You know what? Her vagina. Sorry, that was, you know, a little abrasive. But you know what I mean? So like people are operating from a space of trauma instead of, you know, being healed. And we don't know. Like I said,
do black men marry white women?
Okay.
Tight.
Yep, go ahead. I'm gonna pull it back out. I was just trying to get it loaded up for you. Keep going.
But so it's just like people act like people are not allowed to change either. And again, you have some other clip that I don't know nothing about from a few years ago. And I just think that if y'all gonna hold people accountable, hold them accountable in life and not death, because this nigga can't say nothing, which I want him to like.
And why didn't anybody, if y'all had a real problem with it, why weren't anybody asking him that question?
That's what I'm saying. Because I'm like, at this point,
it was that big of a deal to you. Like if it was so much that you felt so bad about it, it was hurting.
And I literally am sitting here and I'm like, okay, so what y'all want us to do with this information now?
Not a damn thing, because they don't know what to do with the information.
So that be the frustrating part to me, and I'm just like, okay, and that's it. Okay, as the great Whoopi Goldberg said, okay,
like okay, like yeah. But all right, let me play this clip that people were all kind of what they're up in arms about here.
Ooh.
Hold on. There we go.
What do you mean? Jim, do black men marry white women because of the nature of black women? I know in some of our earlier conversations you mentioned that the black women you've met have been uptight. What do you mean by that?
Well, I'll answer the one question. What do I mean by uptight? Going toward a more militant attitude about their own identity. And in many ways are way ahead of the black man, because I don't know why, but in many ways are replacing the black man. There's a whole, there's an almost unfeminine aspect of the black militant woman.
Do you find that some black women you've known out of your personal experience blame the black man for what happened to them in slavery even today?
Of course, if the black man, regardless of the causes, failed to protect her, left her in a position where she had to sell herself or bargain with her body and so on. Yes, she had there's a resentment about that, but it's very complex now. You see, I think in another generation you'll get a whole crop uptight about their position in society. There are many, because I'm generalizing now, many are overreacting against Aunt.
You're muted.
Sorry about that. I see you waving a white flag. Go ahead.
Okay. First of all, he looked high out of his mind. Two, the white girl is like, hey, I don't know if you should answer that.
With a white woman sitting next to you.
Like she's like, you still engaging, nigga, they getting you. Like, and you know, the crazy thing is that it's so many things as a culture that we have to heal from and you know, and kind of just embrace what it is and sit in it and figure out how we are going to do things better going forward, because clearly you see how fucking young he is in that video, and he died at 93.
Right.
And so if this interview was like from the 70s or whatever, and well, clearly, yeah, for sure, based on her, how she looked. But the funny part about what he's saying is that ain't nothing changed, and people still, that's still the dialogue that's happening here, where we feel like there's just like this sense of divide, and black men feel like black women feel a certain way toward them, and vice versa, and that we don't need black men, and I don't know, and it's funny because
I'm Doja. They sleep. Yeah, we part of Just Posted Podcast, man. The best show on this network. Come on, check, girl.
Seriously, man. Just Posted. It's just me and Doja sitting back talking about what the fuck going on in the world and the streets.
We said labor of love. He said labor of love. I didn't say that shit. Shout out to you know what I'm saying, everybody coming to watch though, man. We really appreciate y'all. Holla at y'all later.
Hey man, this nigga just tall for no reason.
Gone.
And he do regular jobs. Don't forget that.
we don't talk about stuff like that, D.
Yeah.
And I don't talk about stuff like that with my other homeboys either. You know, like, we see the value in each other, and we've talked about it before when we've talked about Kevin Samuels on this show, and you know, other things that have happened, and I just can't relate to that conversation just because everybody looks to each other. We have a strong network.
I agree.
And so it's just really weird when you hear it in certain situations or conversations or whatever. And to be quite frank, you know, I don't get mad that people date interracially. I only get mad when an entire race of women are brought into the conversation. We don't got shit to do with why the fuck you want to fuck Sally. Like, we don't.
Yeah.
You chose to do that because you wanted to do that, and that's cool. Like, and just let it be that. Like, I was attracted to her. I wanted to get it in, and that's it.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be anything more than that. Is that we
nothing more than that.
The extras. That's when I get to being like, okay, all right.
Yeah.
Like,
but
love who you want to love. I ain't mad at it, man. But like, yeah. But at the same time, James Earl Jones, y'all could have been trying to. I mean, the people were saying with that clip before that was out there. They were.
Yeah.
But now it's like, man, the man is past, and y'all act like he's somebody like R. Kelly or somebody. Like, y'all trying to treat him like that. But y'all will still step in the name of love. But y'all want to get mad at him for some comments in the 70s, which are, you know what I'm saying, or misthought, and I'm sure it was somewhere around there. But y'all still bumping R. Kelly and want to give excuses for R. Kelly though.
Like, niggas, stop being dumb. Stop being dumb and confusing. And like I said, this is a certain group of people that are like doing this or whatever. And it's like, you know, the commentary surrounding this. And I'm just like, again, I could be offended by what he said. I'm not offended because you ain't talking to me.
No.
And number two, why wasn't we having this conversation and discussing this when he was alive? Now y'all want to do this? Baby, rest in peace. A job well done.
Yeah. He lived a long time, you know what I'm saying? He did a lot of stuff, you know, hey.
I'm like, the circle of life has come full circle.
And shout out to AI is actually going to keep him alive because he did a lot of voice recordings of his voice so that they can use it for Darth Vader in the future.
Oh, look.
Yep. So he basically pronounced a whole bunch of words so they could use he basically read the whole dictionary, damn near.
Yeah.
With every word.
Okay.
So they could just put his words together and have his voice.
And that was nice of him, especially what's going on in Hollywood and AI.
No, his family's gonna get paid off of it. So you basically set your family up.
He got a son that don't look black, but you know it is what it is.
Yeah, look, I know he ain't the first.
He won't, but damn sure won't be the last. Yeah.
All right, well, let's get into this. One of the most upsetting things this week is this now love affair for Lil Wayne. In this Super Bowl halftime show thing with Kendrick over Kendrick Lamar. Where do I want to start with this?
Tell the truth. Speak on it, preach.
So, first of all, okay. I got 3-4 different things running through my mind at the same time. So let me parse it out one by one and get your thoughts.
Okay.
One, if you were the supervisor at your current job, and I'm talking to you, the listeners, Dom, myself, and it was like, hey, we need this person here. Or if not, we're going to be looking at you bad as the manager or the person that hired this person or brought this person on. Would you choose Lil Wayne to be on that shift and be able to do a correct job?
He would take out the trash.
No, I'm talking about any job.
I would allow him and his.
So you get to my point. Is like someone's job is on the line potentially because they were like,
yeah, it would be something. It would be something so minute, something so small.
But you putting the whole Super Bowl halftime show in his hands when he was just at WrestleMania, slurring over his words and stuff.
With leaning his cup.
Hold on. And somebody was like, well, you got to do it for the culture in Louisiana. My job is on the line. If you know what would happen? He'd go in there and mess up, dumb, and people would be laughing like, dang, that's messed up. Lil Wayne out there slurring his words and stuff. This messed up.
Here's the crazy thing too. It's like, we're not even there yet. It ain't even February. And so much could have changed in this span where Kendrick probably could have brought him out.
He still may very well do.
And it's like, again, the Super Bowl has previously been in our lifetime in New Orleans.
Multiple times.
And who has performed? Beyonce.
The Rams were the Super Bowl there in 2002.
Beyonce has performed there.
Yep.
Nobody said nothing about Lil Wayne then. And, you know, it's just interesting because I've said here, I'm not a rap enthusiast. Oh, I'm not a rap enthusiast like that. I like, certain stuff. Certain stuff might be mainstream. I love, I used to love her, by Common.
Yep.
Don't care for him on Get 'Em High. But it's just interesting because Lil Wayne has never been like an artist for me where I've been like, oh my God. And I get it, like, him up and being so young, you're seeing his career blossom and all of that. I would say I prefer them as a whole, like the Hot Boys. But again, us seeing all these crazy things that have happened with him performance-wise, you forgetting the words. Why would you even play with something like that? And people's like, pay him. I'm like, but you don't even get paid for the Super Bowl. I was like,
you have to pay, and you have to spend your own money.
I was like,
you have to spend your own money for a lot of your stuff.
Yeah. I was like, we just went through this with Usher. So did y'all not see the headlines and articles and conversations surrounding why Usher won't get paid? And then the year before that, why so-and-so would not get paid? Because they don't do that. And so and they probably have like a lot of sponsors and different things that come in and, you know, help them cover some of that cost for that like 12 or 15 minutes or whatever. But it's also, again, Kendrick, when was the last time Lil Wayne, and that has nothing to do with how great a person is, but I haven't heard
over 10 years.
I haven't heard anybody really go up for him like that. People are really
he's a good rapper. Like, I'm not going to take away from his ability.
And I could imagine sober and in his right mind, he could be a great performer. But if I cannot guarantee that you are not going to show up to this fucking performance not high. You remember they had to make an emergency landing on that plane that one time?
Mm-hmm. Because they thought he was going to die. They thought he was going to die. But we're supposed to put that person at the front of the Super Bowl.
And I listen, I just talked about redemption and people being able to have a redemption story. But he hasn't shown us anything. They're going to cuss us out for this. And I think, like, again.
But I'm going to bring up another point of why all these people.
I'm going to say something. And if Nicki was in her right mind and wasn't controversial, I would have Nicki perform before Lil Wayne.
No, this is the thing. All of these people that have been shouting about it thought they was going to be on the bill with him because it was going to be Lil Wayne and friends. That's it. That's none of the cats was trying to help out Drake when there was shots going on outside.
Nobody said nothing. Nicki Minaj, you was quiet. Now it's like we're a family YMCA.
And I'm gonna dig even
all of them, and ain't nobody said nothing.
I'm gonna dig even deeper for you, dumb.
Go ahead.
They be shooting at Lil Wayne about 10 years ago. Allegedly, but I mean, and now all of a sudden you got Lil Wayne back, but you was shooting at him. But we supposed to believe that y'all got his back.
Didn't Birdman also pay for Lil Wayne to lose his virginity when he was like 9 years old?
Now, I don't know about that part. That's a little bit.
Catch
more
this tea.
That's outside my tea back. I mean, I got more street, you know.
But also,
it's real funny to me with that. And then shout out to Jay Electronica, who was tweeting, getting mad. He said, "But y'all got a lot of anger for a black man, but y'all never talk no bad about none of these white folks up in these high offices. Y'all always got smoke for black folks."
But also, understanding the process, somebody put the process in place.
They give them a
short list.
Yep, and then
they give them a short list, right, and look like you didn't get picked. So you mad, but everybody. But see, here's you want the real tea.
Go ahead.
Nicki Minaj is going this hard and been going that hard at Megan. Like Megan will tell you, I don't know why the fuck that lady mad at me and why she got so much shit to say to me. It all goes back to Beyonce.
Ooh, okay. Go there.
And that's because Beyonce don't, ever since like Feeling Myself, Nicki like pretty much has been in the center of like some sort of controversy, whether it be her brother in that case, and then from there with how long that shit been going on with Kenneth Petty and all those different things. So
she couldn't even bring Kenneth Petty to the Super Bowl. Why she worried about it? He can't be nowhere close to children.
So, but that's a real statement. That's a real statement. But ultimately, that's just what a lot of that is supposed to be about. It goes back to Jay-Z and y'all won't say his name. But it really go back to that because Beyonce don't fuck with her.
Yep. Hold on. I got the video now. Exhibit A. Lil Wayne not knowing what the hell he's like. This just.
I need your hands up. Hands up. Let's go.
A millionaire, I'm a young money millionaire. Tougher than Nigerian. My criteria compared to your courage isn't fair. I'm a venereal disease like a menstrual. Shoot up and lead on the sheet. I can tell it if I'm like alright, cause I ain't got time.
That was just at WrestleMania, which is like April or May of this year.
But people don't.
They literally, no, and what's more backstory that they cut him off. WrestleMania cut him off. Like the WWE cut his mic off. That's why he was like, because it was just hard, like it was horrible in the middle of his verse.
I am just confused because clearly thine eyes and thy ears don't deceiveth me. And why again, people don't realize, and like my mom said, looking at the Z before you step into the A. And so when you do shit, it is a long-lasting effect. Why? Because why would we want to see that?
Yeah.
And also, like Kendrick is having like the year of his life. And so why wouldn't we want to see not like us on a larger scale? Like, I mean, it's been on a large scale, but it's really been infiltrating. For real, it's like our people, like people that are immersed in hip hop. So now you're about to probably see this on like an even larger scale. Boy, go make your money. You ain't gonna make it there, but you're gonna make some money after that.
Right, but Weezy got the Louisiana thing, Little Louisiana concert coming up with the Hot Boys reunion like 2 months before that.
So
in New Orleans.
There's your redemption story.
I'm just saying, baby. I just don't like Baby. Like
ain't never will. Always so crazy and weird and sneaky and creepy as hell to me.
Why would you even? I mean, we talk about Diddy and we're gonna talk about him in a second, but what would make you, maybe I'm saying this now, maybe in a different position in my life, but I'd be like, man, I just figured out another way. If I got to sign the Cash Money, somebody else want to sign me. Like real talk, I think about that. I was there's like 1 or 2 schools I would never let my daughter go to, like Ole Miss. Like Ole Miss is the main one. It's like Ole Miss, and then like it's really just Ole Miss. And so I was like, what they gave her a scholarship is like, if they gave her a scholarship, there's a whole bunch of schools that was giving her a scholarship too.
Mm-hmm.
So if Birdman wanted to sign you, I'm sure there's 12 other labels that was interested in you as well.
Yep.
So you ain't got to sign no deals with him.
It's just crazy. Like you said, all these people are going so hard, and when we've been in all other stuff, everybody has been quiet. Like this entire time, like even checking people when they fucking up. Because like, let's be clear, how Nicki Minaj has been acting toward Megan Thee Stallion, it is bully behavior. It is mean girl behavior. It doesn't make sense. It reads jealousy, filth, whatever. And somebody like if you love Wayne so much, Wayne should have been the one pulling you aside. It's like, hey bitch, you fucking up your brand. Like you got fans that fuck with you and her. Y'all did a song together. Yeah, maybe it flopped. But at the end of the day, just stay out of it. Like whatever it is, like call her on the phone, figure that shit out. Cause you got Jay Prince doing that shit. So somebody needed to do that for her because she looked crazy as hell.
Yeah, she did.
And still do. You look crazy as hell. All these rants on Instagram or Twitter or whatever. Y'all gonna disrespect the GOAT and blah, 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 blah. Girl, it's a performance that he not getting paid for. It ain't like nobody took money out that man's pocket. Chill. And again,
my whole thing is somebody's job to make sure that this Negro get here. What happened when the Temptations brought David Ruffin back? He didn't even show up. He didn't know what city he was in at some point. And they lost money because they was getting paid for all the tips to be there.
Exactly.
That's what you got to.
But like I said, but like I told you, if Nicki Minaj wasn't so enthralled in whatever the fuck is going on over there, you know, because we talked about, didn't we talk about that case on here where really happened that day when they pulled up the old court videos? But if you wasn't so enthralled in whatever that mess is, I'm being honest, and they gonna stone me for it. I don't care. I would prefer to see her perform over Lil Wayne.
Yeah, I'm with you. All right. It's been a long time. We shouldn't have left y'all. We shouldn't have left y'all. All right.
I just noticed that said "Can't Stop, Won't Stop." I know that was the name of that documentary, but
yeah,
it fits into everything.
That's why I love it. All right, Dom. Jump in. Don Richards has now what?
Filed suit against Puff Daddy.
This
is definitely a shocker. She filed suit yesterday in the New York court, claiming that Puff Daddy was verbally abusive to them, physically abusive to them. She also stated how she witnessed Puffy be physically abusive to Cassie. She entails on the first day of recording for Diddy Dirty Money, how they came to his house to record, and Cassie was in the kitchen cooking, and Puffy was high out of his mind, and then yelling at her, calling her bitch, you don't ever do nothing right, and then proceeds to throw the eggs that she cooked for him at her.
Oh, wow.
She also goes back and details the abuse that she experienced being in Danity Kane, that she and all the girls endured, and then how it came back around when she joined Dirty Money, and Diddy told her that if she joined Dirty Money, he promised her all these, he, gave her a lot of empty promises, and when she saw... Once Cassie filed suit and she looked over her life, she realized that she too had been the victim of abuse. Also, let's not forget, the other day, we have a young guy that was awarded, which like you say, they might contest this. Michigan prisoner Derek Lee Cardello Smith. That's a long name. There's a lot of last names there.
It seems like it's probably doing something wrong.
Wins $100 million default judgment against Sean Diddy Combs in a sexual assault case. And he said, back in 1997, Puffy allegedly drugged and sexually assaulted Cardello Smith at a party in Detroit. And so, no one on Puffy's side showed up to court, and so they awarded him $100 million. I don't even know if Puffy got $100 million.
He got it, but
he got it somewhere.
It was a default judgment, so that means basically nobody showed up, so they just did that. They want to get him into court.
Yeah.
They want to make sure and I don't know why he didn't have some lawyer or some representation said something like, hey, some bullshit, y'all. We ain't sending no lawyer for that. But I think he thought, like you said, he probably thought they was just gonna throw it out in general.
Yeah, I think they thought they was gonna throw it out in general when nobody showed up, and the judge was like,
like, nah, we're not doing that, sir. That's not going to happen on this watch. So, but
not on my watch.
Diddy was starting to peek his head out again, a little bit like a little turtle. He was trying to see if the coast was clear. He'd been hanging out with people, being up in Harlem, doing all kind of stuff like that.
I know that Stevie J been holding him down, sticking with him Because like I know one time he was spotted on the beach in Miami and Stevie was with him or whatever.
I mean, to think about if you got friends like that, though, those are the only people left that's got you.
Yeah.
With Stevie J.
Because like a lot of people deleted photos that they had with him off their page. Followed him just to distance themselves from him. So, yeah, I mean, it's definitely interesting to see how this is going to play out, especially because, you know, with Don being around him so heavy, and then you had Kalina saying how she never saw any sorts of abuse or see him being like aggressive to anybody when all of this first came out. And so for Don to have a completely different story is just very, very telling.
Yeah.
So we'll see as the Diddy turns. What will happen.
As the life of Diddy turns, he'll be all right. Because he just got to go away for like 3 or 4 years, Diddy. I think that people were getting him because he been hanging out, getting pictures, dapping up people in the hood. He just trying. I think the coast is clear. It's okay. It's okay. I can come out. No, nigga.
Like, really think about it. We about to come up on the year real quick.
Yep, and all them year anniversary articles finna drop in a minute.
Yeah, and like we mentioned, what happened to the one case with the girl from Detroit?
We ain't heard nothing about it.
So y'all still clearly in court about that because that's not thrown out, or we ain't heard nothing about a settlement.
Woo.
It's a few cases because some of them he still got a few open cases. So I'm just like, at this point, I ain't trying to be funny. He just need to settle all them cases and just kind of like cool out. Like that would be the only thing, whether he feel like he guilty or not. Because you trying to fight that shit is going to cost you way more.
Yeah.
So if I was him, I'd be like, hey, look, I ain't got that. I got this. What you want to do?
We gonna have to figure out some other way, player.
Because that you telling me that guy, like nobody thought we should go to court for $100 million? And you know, somebody made an interesting comment. They was like, damn, he got more than Cassie. And I was like, well, we don't know. We don't really know what Cassie got because it was an undisclosed amount when they settled. But baby, the way that I would be so pissed that and if somebody was supposed to be there and they didn't show up, I would be suing my attorney.
Oh no, that's real. Like, come on, man. Y'all supposed to
I'm like, dude, like, y'all knew this was coming up. Y'all knew this was on the calendar. What the fuck happened where y'all didn't get to court? And now you got this happening. So they're going to have to contest that.
All right. Our last quick topic as we get out of here. Kendrick Lamar dropped a new track too today. People don't want to know. Somewhat of a diss track against a lot of different people. We're going to play a little snippet of it on here. And I want to get your thoughts on the small list.
The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a show for 80s babies who were 90s kids. If you were a No Limit soldier, then this is your show. If you believe that Cash Money is not an army but was a Navy, this is the show for you. If you and your friends ever tried to sing a song written by Escape, In Vogue, Shy, or Boyz II Men at a talent show during middle school, this is your show. The I Only Listen to 90s Music podcast is a bunch of 80s babies talking about all the songs and things that we loved when we were kids and teenagers. So if you went to the skating rink and you were at a lock-in, this is the show for you. If you think that Tevin Campbell was the original Prince of R&B, this is the show for you. If you don't understand the conflict between Monica and Brandy, but you're kind of on Monica's side and understand why Brandy got punched, this is the show for you. Make sure that you tune in, subscribe, click the little subscribe link. We're here. We're going to talk about all things 90s music. This is the show for you.
sip it, Dom, and then we'll be out of here. Dom, what you think?
That rides nice down the PCH freeway.
Yeah. And for people that are just listening, there's black Air Force Ones.
Yes.
Which if anyone has grown up in any urban environments, somebody
what kind
wearing
of energy.
Air Force Ones, they're robbing somebody, they're getting ready to do something nefarious, and you need to watch them.
Yes.
I remember being at the club in Chicago, and it was two dudes I'm walking in with. I was like, we got to watch them niggas, because there's way too many girls in this line. They got on black Air Force Ones. Nothing happened. But I was just saying, like, why are you even wearing them? Like, why are you even wearing them? It's not like, please, what are you doing? They didn't get in though, I think, because it was like a more upscale spot. All my Chicago people, what was it? It was on the Northwest Side, y'all, over by DePaul. Y'all, somebody from Chicago chimed in the spot, but they wouldn't let them in. And I was like, yeah, that bouncer knew them black sneak Air Force Ones was, I'm causing ruckus shoes.
Yeah. I mean, that's funny. I just, people just be peopling. And I don't know, like, this week has been so chaotic.
Yeah.
And even like, I'm gonna have to listen to this offline.
Yep.
And because I like to listen and
I listened to it 5 times between the time I sent it to you before we started.
Oh wow. See, and I had told you, like, I missed you. I was like, you sent me a link to something. I like to listen to like read the lyrics too as I am listening to stuff, because so you can kind of paint a picture too sometimes, and really like, because sometimes, especially, things go over your head if you're not reading it.
I agree.
So I like that. I like to do that a lot. But it's just been interesting, just like as far as like music and performances and all that this week too, because like, they announced the Country Music Award and Beyonce not getting nominated, but we also knew that this was gonna happen.
Yeah, I'm not a lot of people surprised about it.
Yeah, I'm frankly shocked that people are shocked that she's not nominated, because especially when we talked about it on here, I was like, it's not a country album, it's a Beyonce album. It's country her way. Because after a certain point, it's like some of the sounds and stuff are very experimental.
I agree.
So I'm like, what was y'all thinking? And I listen, I'm trying to just still get my hands on a bottle of Sir Davis, okay? Because everywhere I look, it's sold out, and I'm hearing amazing things about it. But as far as this Kendrick thing, to bring it back, I just can't believe people are acting like this. But like I said, like, if you really start breaking down stuff, somebody said this wouldn't happen if Birdman paid the Neptunes.
Yep. It's a whole other thing. If you want to refer back to earlier, this dude's a crummy person. Why would y'all even want to hang out with him?
Yeah, so I just don't. I don't know, and I'm just. Y'all doing too much and not enough for me at the same time. And that's really how I feel. And I'm going to stand 10 toes down on that. Because, like, people have been pulling up performances of Lil Wayne in, like, the recent years. And like you said, why would I take a gamble on that? And also, again, to speak back to what I said, you don't think that, like, Lil Wayne might not have popped out? Like, Kendrick might not have already made that call and was like, hey, look, I need you to be ready.
Don't be on that narcotic.
Yeah. I'm like, don't be on no bullshit. This is about us coming together, having a good time, and that's it.
But what about Drake? That's my boy.
Fuck that nigga.
That's what I was saying as well.
And I'm like, hey, like, we got the opportunity to really make some shit pop and go.
Fuck that Canadian.
And it's like, let's do it for the culture. Let's do this for us.
And it's not all Canadians when I say fuck that Canadian. It's just him.
Yeah, because we love Celine Dion.
Yeah.
But it's just so much. And I'm very perplexed. Just the commentary like surrounding this. And just in this, I just like, damn, I gotta mute a lot of people because y'all are idiots. He's a liability.
100% liability.
Because you know what? You want to know the probably thing, it's probably also an insurance thing.
Could be.
Because that, like, the people have to also think about it from that perspective. When you're a liability like that, you can't get, if something would have happened, and like, let's say they had an explosive, like, you know, like fire go up or whatever, and he in the wrong spot and he get, you're not covered.
Yeah.
So people don't look at stuff as a whole. And they don't think about it like that because when you're not, and I'm not, that don't even require you to be business savvy, but it just requires you to kind of know the ins and outs of everything. So, yeah.
So, Don, where can people hit you up at again and help you subscribe to get to that 1K?
Man, y'all, please subscribe to my YouTube page. My room looked very homely from this angle. I'm going to have to put some artwork on this wall. Like, I painted this wall last summer, and I just got to do something. Like, this just, it looked very homely, like I'm in the projects, and I'm not. Like, my bed not made right. I'm just looking at all of this shit. Anyway, St. Angeles, YouTube, Instagram. I feel like Instagram is low-key fucking with me because I've had a restriction on my account for like almost a year. Now, it's next month, it'll be a year. And apparently I didn't follow the guidelines about something, like when I ran an ad, which I know they telling the damn lie because I did, and y'all took my money. So I've been trying to dispute it and haven't investigated. In the next page that you're supposed to never loads. So I have been stuck at like 8,400 followers for a year. Like, and then I would get, and it's just slowly going down. So wow. It's really weird. So I'm about to really be heavy on TikTok and just having a good time over there. And yeah, that's it. But subscribe, and share our podcast with everybody if you are enjoying the content here. Yeah. We try to give you our wholesome, insightful content for the most part. And we keep it a buck. And I know people sometimes are thrown off by the title, but it also should make you want to come in because it is kind of intriguing. Because we're not an astrological podcast. It is just life from our view.
Yep, that's it. Plain and simple.
Yep, plain and simple.
All right. See y'all next week. Peace.